formulas. They work well. They're easy. The problem is they're only for right angle triangles. What happens when you don't have a right angle triangle? That's what sine, log, cos, are for whenever you don't have a right angle triangle. Here's a formula to find a side. It's little a over sine capital A, and that's really important. And then I know it's uppercase and lowercase, but then it's capital and what? Why does the upper get two names? Uppercase, lowercase makes sense. Capital? Not. Very good. Equals not capital B over sine capital B equals lowercase c over sine uppercase c. Is it on your formula sheet, or do you need to know it?
It's on our formula sheet.
To find an angle, all I'm going to do is take all these fractions and just flip them. So sine capital A is going to go to the top, little a is going to go to the bottom. Nina, what did you do to your face? Oh, very good. Sine big B over sine little b equals sine capital C over a not capital C. Is that one on your formula sheet, or do you need to know it? Now up on my wall, I only put the first one because I assume, being bright IB students, you could flip it over if you need the other one. I know, probably shouldn't have. So here's a typical sine law or cos law question. They're always going to look like this. Triangle ABC, and then they'll give you some kind of information. Little a is 16, angle A is 40, angle B is 58, find little b. Highlight that note there. Capital letters are angles, lowercase are sides. Yeah, sometimes. We'll do one in a second when they do. Grab your paper, which I'm sure you already have out, with the title on it. Hoping by May that you see the routine here, that we need paper. I know I did, so I had to erase it though. And being left brain, I'm obsessed with it being perfect. We're going to do example first, then I'll give you the steps after. Step number one, we're going to draw a triangle. I'm not drawing any particular kind of triangle. I'm just trying not to make it right angle because I want to prove that this does not have to be a right angle triangle. But it doesn't matter what the triangle looks like. You can label it however you like it. I always start on the left and I go clockwise because that's the way my brain works. Doesn't matter where you have the A, B, and C. Here's the only trick that you know is that the sides corresponding to the angles are opposite. So across from angle A is side little a. Across from angle B is little b. Told you guys we're the smart IB class. And across from C is little c. So big letters are always angles, little letters are always sides. So just going to redraw so we can put on some information that we're given. That's why it doesn't matter how you label it, because you're just going to do the opposite to find the sides. I always start on the left. I always go around clockwise. We're given little a is 16, so that has to be the side between B and C. We're given angle 40 is angle A. We're given angle B is 58. And we want to find little b, which will be at the bottom of the triangle. So step number one is draw and label the triangle. Step number two, if you look at the formula, there's 3 fractions in it. We only ever use 2. So we're never using all 3 at one time. The first letter is going to be what you're trying to find. The second letter is going to be what you're given. What are we trying to find? So I'm going to start with the formula that starts with little b over sine big B. And then what do we have? We either have to have A or have to have C. So I'm going to pick the other side that has A. I'm not going to use the part that has C because I don't need it for this question. So step number 2, pick the formula. Step number 3, direct substitution. Little b I don't know. Big B is 58. little a is 16, big A is 40. Step 4 is isolate the variable. I need little b by itself. What's the opposite of dividing by sine 58? So what I'm going to do is just tuck it in behind the 16. So the 16 is a coefficient. When you multiply by sine 58, he just tags on. The last step, use your calculator. Now if you have old operating system, you're going to have to close off the top, close off the bracket, close off both the angles. If you have new operating system where it gives you the nice little fraction, you don't have to do any of that. Check your mode. What do you have to be in? Degrees. But you know how to check it. Go into mode, make sure degrees is black. So the word degree should physically be black. Question says 2 decimal places. Offer of 21.12. What's the 3 decimal places, Reese?
109.
So this is what you look at, or this is what you look at to round. So because it's bigger than 5, what happens over there? It goes up, so it'll be 21 point. Yes.
How did we get rid of sine 58?
What's the opposite of dividing by sine 58? Cameron, was there a start of a question there? The thing I like about sine law is it's these same 5 steps every single time. There's no exceptions. There's no tricky questions. It's these 5 steps. No. Well, because sine, cos, tan, there sometimes is. So, step number 1, if you want to fill in your method box. Step number 1, draw and label a triangle.
Is there a unit on the equals triangle?
There's no units in the question, so then no units on the answer. Draw and label a triangle. Draw and label a triangle. Step 2, choose the formula. Choose the formula. Step 3, substitute into the formula. Substitute into the formula. Step 4, isolate the variable. Isolate the variable. Step 5, use your calculator. And then on Monday, you'll see that cos law has the exact same steps to it. The only time it would be non-calc is if these were special triangles, but we don't get into that this time. Melanie. Step 1, somebody tell her.
Draw and label a triangle.
So just for the first example, I'm going to label where we did the steps. So this was obviously step 1. Step 2, how did I know I wanted to use these 2 pieces of the formula? What we're looking for and what we're given. We can't use C because we don't have any information about C. Step 3 was substituting in. Your hair looks cute. Your hair looks cute.
Thank you.
Step 4 is when we multiplied by that sine 58. And step 5 was the calc. Questions so far? After doing SOHCAHTOA, it's a little bit more work, but it's the same steps every single time. Number 2. Doesn't matter what the triangle looks like. Doesn't matter where the letters are. We're told side A is 18. Angle A is 64. Angle C is 55. Little c is what we want. Step number 1, check, check, done. Step number 2, pick the formula. What are we trying to find? So c over sine big C is what I'm going to start with. What do I want to use for the other half? Why? Yeah, if you go to use b, we don't have anything for b. We're going to get stuck. Times it's like teaching daycare, like just small glimpses, like teaching daycare back there. Step number 3, sub in. Agreed. This might be your unit. Step 4, isolate the variable. It's always going to be a multiplication by the bottom. This guy's always going to come up and join this side. He gets tucked behind the coefficient. Why did I multiply him to the other side? If the question doesn't say, I don't care, 1, 2, whatever. If the question says, then yes, we need to do it to a specific amount. Not defined, not clear, not sure. So everybody I know has seen somebody who's ambiguous. You know the people you look at, you're like, is that a girl or a boy? I'm not sure. And then you check, you're like, I'm not sure. And then you find their name, it's like Pat or Chris. You're like, I'm still not sure. That's ambiguous. It's called the ambiguous case because we don't know. Is there one triangle? Is there two? We don't know from the question. It only happens with sign law, and it happens when you're given two sides and the non-included angle. So I'm going to mark any two sides. I'm picking the two side ones just for no reason. An included angle is the one that's made up by those two sides. So in this diagram, the top would be the included angle because it's formed by this sides. That means these guys would be the non-included angle. The deal is whenever you're using sign law and you're trying to find an answer, check if there's a second solution. In the last question, if there hadn't been two possible angles, what that would have meant when we went down to find angle A is one would have been negative. And we can't have negative, therefore there's no two triangles. So just always check with sign law, just get in the habit. It's going to be hard. Your brain is going to want to stop after the first one because that's what we did with SOHCAHTOA. We did second function or inverse sine, and we finished. You have to keep remember sign law, second solution. Sign law, second solution. Number 5, by yourself, with a friend, I don't know. What do you feel like? Just do it. I'll give you, I don't know, 3-4 minutes.